On December 15th, the FBI announced the arrest of 4 individuals accused of planning a series of bombings on New Year's Eve in Los Angeles. Notably, one of the suspects is a Chinese woman, the second person from the right in the photo. This is the first time a Chinese woman has been arrested in the U.S. for involvement in a terrorist attack. During a press conference that morning, the FBI and U.S. federal prosecutors revealed that the 4 suspects were members of a pro-Palestinian anti-law enforcement and anti-government extremist group. They belong to a radical branch called the Turtle Island Liberation Front. The investigation revealed that the suspects planned to plant homemade bombs at 5 locations across Los Angeles on New Year's Eve, carrying out multiple explosions. They also targeted U.S. ICE agents and vehicles. U.S. Attorney General Pamela Bondi stated that the investigation prevented an attack that could have had devastating consequences in California's Central District. According to current information, all 4 suspects are from Los Angeles. They are 30-year-old Audrey Eileen Carroll, known as a Siganak, 32-year-old Zachary Aaron Page, also known as AK, 24-year-old Dante Anthony Gaffield, also known as Nomad, and 41-year-old Tina Chenting Lai, also known as Kickware. Lai has been confirmed as Chinese. The 4 are charged with conspiracy and possession of unregistered destructive devices. The indictment shows that Lai was heavily involved in the bombing plot. On December 4th, using her alias Kickware, she sent a message on Signal app confirming she would join her accomplices in the desert for a rehearsal of the bombing plan. At Lai's home, law enforcement found materials used to make explosives, including a metal saw and PVC pipe segments, as well as handwritten notes reflecting TILF's ideology. TILF is known for its pro-Palestinian, anti-law enforcement, and anti-government views. The group's social media accounts have openly promoted violence against U.S. officials. On November 28th, they posted, "Revolution is the only way out." The suspects also frequently refer to each other as comrade. FBI agents from the Los Angeles Joint Terrorism Task Force testified in the indictment that in late November, TILF member Carroll provided an undercover informant with an 8-page handwritten document titled Midnight Sun Operation, detailing the bombing plot. The plan discussed using improvised explosive devices, IEDs, to carry out terrorist actions, including instructions on how to make bombs and avoid leaving evidence. On the morning of December 12th, the 4 suspects drove 2 vehicles to a remote area of the Mojave Desert. Along the way, they discussed using cigarettes as a delayed ignition device for the bombs. Carroll told Lai the purpose of going to the desert was to rehearse for the New Year's Eve bombing plot. Around 10 a.m., after arriving in the desert, the suspects set up camp. Carroll, Page, and Lai brought materials to make bombs, including various sizes of PVC pipes, suspected potassium nitrate, charcoal powder, sulfur powder, and materials used as fuses. Before they could assemble the explosive devices, FBI agents intervened, preventing the plot. The indictment also mentioned that Page and Carroll discussed future attacks following the New Year's Eve bombing, including plans to use pipe bombs to target ICE agents and vehicles starting in January or February 2026. California's Central District First Assistant U.S. Attorney Bill Asalee stated that those extreme left-wing anti-government groups aiming to destroy the American way of life would never succeed and would face severe legal consequences. It has been rare for overseas Chinese to be involved in violent crimes, especially for Chinese women directly participating in terrorist activities in the U.S. However, this situation seems to be changing. Reports show that violent crimes involving Chinese nationals have significantly increased worldwide this year, with some suspected connections to the Chinese military. On December 14, 2025, the Indonesian National Army, TNI, confirmed that soldiers from the 6th Combat Engineer Battalion were attacked during training in the West Kalimantan's Ketapang Regency. The incident involved 15 individuals from Beijing. Colonel Yusuf Dodi Sandra, the information officer for the Tanjung Blitar Military Command, said the attack occurred around 3:40 p.m. in the area controlled by PT-SRM Company. Indonesian soldiers were informed by PT-SRM security about a drone flying near the training area. They began searching for the drone's operator and found 4 Chinese nationals operating the drone unauthorized in a restricted zone. The Indonesian military said the 4 Chinese individuals were questioned. However, the situation escalated when 11 more Chinese nationals appeared and attacked the Indonesian soldiers, leading to a violent confrontation. This prompted coordinated action around the company's surrounding area. The attackers used machetes, air guns, and stun devices, causing the outnumbered troops to retract tactically to prevent any further escalation. They reported the incident to their superiors through military channels. The military stated that the conflict occurred near an industrial area. No soldiers were injured, but a company-owned Toyota pickup was severely damaged, and an employee's Honda motorcycle was destroyed. Investigators are looking into the motives behind the attack and the purpose of the drones operated in the military training zone. The regional command has promised full cooperation with the police under Indonesian law. Firman, president of PTSRM, condemned the violence and property damage, emphasizing that the soldiers involved were active duty personnel on official duty, not company security staff. Firman stated that these Chinese nationals were guaranteed by former management, and the company applied to revoke their guarantees and residence permits on October 2025, while reporting the matter to the West Kalimantan police for investigation. On December 16th, Indonesian authorities stated that after the attack on military personnel during training exercises, several Chinese nationals had been detained. The Immigration Department confirmed that 26 Chinese nationals were detained and are currently held at the immigration office in Ketapang. Acting Director of Immigration, Yuldi Usman, said officials are verifying the detainees' immigration documents and coordinating with other agencies. He added, "Our central office team has been deployed to assist local immigration officers and the Indonesian National Military. All detained foreign nationals are undergoing immigration status checks." Yuldi stated that the number of detainees could rise, as authorities believe there are 34 foreign nationals in the mining area. Some individuals were initially not detained because they were either extending their visas, receiving medical treatment, or residing in the Tumpang Titi area. Immigration officers are investigating the guarantors who brought the Chinese nationals into Indonesia, while the damage and violent behavior are being handled by the Ketapang police. The motivation behind the attack and the purpose of flying drones near the military training area remain under investigation, including whether the foreign nationals had the necessary permits to operate drones in the area. Data shows that PTSRM is a gold mining company based in West Kalimantan, Indonesia, primarily involved in gold mining operations. However, the company and its affiliates are under investigation and prosecution by the Indonesian government for illegal mining, illegal gold trading, and money laundering. The company has been shut down, and founder Lee Chang-jin is wanted by Indonesia and listed as a red notice fugitive by Interpol. Following the incident, Lee Chang-jin claimed through the media that the mining area is currently embroiled in legal disputes and questioned why Indonesian National Army personnel were present at the site. Lee also claimed that his company employed Chinese nationals as technical staff to operate drones at the mining site, but denied that PTSRM employees had attacked the TNI. Analysts say the situation is complex. Based on his name, Lee Chang-jin is likely either a Chinese national or an Indonesian of Chinese descent. Online searches show that Lee Chang-jin has been issued an Interpol red notice and is listed as a fugitive barred from entering Indonesia. He claims to be seeking protection in China, but his property dealings and wealth in Australia are complicated. Recently, Chinese language media in Australia reported that the owner of a $95 million mansion in Sydney is actually the Interpol-wanted fugitive Li Rongmei, who is Lee Chang-jin's sister, and the former CFO of PTSRM. Her name has appeared on Interpol's red notice for illegal gold trading, though the report has since been technically removed. Analysts point out that Chinese language media in Australia often have ties to or are influenced by the Chinese Communist Party. The removal of the report suggests that Lee Chang-jin has significant backing, and the Chinese nationals involved in the conflict with Indonesian soldiers likely have connections to the Chinese military, acting on Lee's orders, which could explain their confidence. The use of drones to monitor Indonesian soldiers indicates that PTSRM may have more secrets it fears being uncovered. Like the US and Indonesia, more countries are increasingly uniting in their stance against the CCP's growing influence and taking firm action, which is also affecting the illegal labor of overseas Chinese. The UK, historically one of the more lenient European countries toward the CCP and with a relatively relaxed immigration policy, is rapidly changing this stance. On December 11th, the UK's immigration enforcement officers, in collaboration with the police, carried out a raid on a Christmas market in Surrey, arresting 11 foreign nationals suspected of illegal work, including several Chinese nationals. The operation took place at Kempton Park Christmas Market on Sunbury-on-Thames, where the crowd was dense. The enforcement action, captured on video, sparked attention. UK media reported that the operation was led by the Home Office's Immigration Enforcement, with support from Surrey Police and the South East Regional Organised Crime Unit. Acting on intelligence, officials determined there was illegal labor at the market and conducted the inspection. 9 men were detained on the spot, including nationals from India, Iraq, and China. Footage showed enforcement officers escorting suspects through the crowd, conducting body searches, taking photos, and verifying identities. The Home Office later confirmed that 5 of the detained individuals had been formally held and are facing deportation. Alex Norris, the UK Minister for Border Security and Immigration, stated after the operation that illegal working harms the rights of law-abiding workers and severely undermines the UK's immigration system, and that such behavior would not be tolerated. He added that the UK is using the highest level of enforcement ever to eliminate the pull factors for illegal workers and speed up deportation processes. Data shows that from October 2024 to September this year, the UK conducted around 11,000 raids, arresting over 8,000 illegal immigrants. Arrests related to illegal work increased by 63% year-on-year. Just this month, there have been several similar operations in the UK. A Chinese employee was caught working illegally at a restaurant in Birmingham, and several delivery workers were arrested in London's Newham area and Norwich. A total of 60 delivery drivers have been confirmed for deportation. News from Taiwan is also concerning. According to local media, after the Kinmen-Xiamen passenger route resumed in September 2024, 2 Chinese brokers were caught using tourist and family visit visas to smuggle 13 Chinese workers into a Kinmen construction site. Their frequent entries and long stays raised suspicions, leading to an investigation. The brokers and employers were arrested, and 13 illegal workers were deported to mainland China. Head of the Kinmen Immigration Task Force, Tang Yutai, stated that the brokers and employers violated Taiwan's regulations and were sent to the Kinmen Prosecutor's Office for further investigation. Tang also noted that after the case is concluded, the brokers and employers will face simplified sentencing. The illegal workers will be forcibly deported and banned from re-entering Taiwan for a set period. It is understood that construction work in Kinmen, such as plastering and electrical work, requires manual labor. Deported Chinese workers were paid daily wages of 17 to 22 new Taiwan dollars, equivalent to 50 to 70 US dollars, similar to Taiwan's daily wage for laborers. However, some Taiwanese electricians pointed out issues with the work quality. One of them said, "I've encountered situations where wires were connected incorrectly, with different colored wires mixed up. It was dangerous and inconvenient, as some workers even got shocked during inspections." Meanwhile, news from Thailand adds a strange twist. On December 9th, a riot broke out at the Thai Immigration Detention Center, where over 30 Chinese fraud suspects were held. They tried to destroy the facility to avoid deportation to China. Thailand's Deputy Immigration Commissioner reported that 325 Chinese nationals were detained at the Mae Sot Immigration Center in Tak Province, near the Myanmar border. They had fled a crackdown on gambling and fraud operations in Myanmar, entered Thailand illegally, and were arrested for deportation. However, on the night of December 9th, tensions escalated when detainees began arguing, which quickly turned into a physical confrontation. Several items were destroyed, and some detainees damaged surveillance equipment to disrupt police monitoring. Despite efforts by interpreters to mediate, the situation spiraled out of control. Police eventually cut off power and used water cannons to disperse the crowd. By 4:30 a.m. on December 10th, all detainees were subdued. During the chaos, a Chinese man surnamed Chen suffered multiple head injuries and was sent to Mae Sot Hospital for treatment. Thailand's Immigration Commissioner, Police Lieutenant General Panumas Bunyalog, ordered strict action against the instigators and said the main ringleaders would be isolated and treated as criminal suspects. Reports indicate that 15 key instigators were detained and charged with property damage, with penalties including up to 3 years in prison and a fine of up to 60,000 Thai baht or both. Additionally, the Immigration Department said it would continue to investigate investigate whether other detainees would face charges for assault or property damage. The authorities have also collected biometric data from all detained Chinese suspects, placing them on lifelong ban from entering Thailand. Analysts say that the global community is increasingly recognizing that the real enemy is the Chinese Communist Party, not the Chinese people. However, many Chinese nationals overseas, still unaware of the truth and manipulated by the CCP, had played a dishonorable role in this process, with some even becoming dangerous criminals. These individuals are under close watch by various countries and could be sent back to China at any time. When that happens, they will lose their hard-earned freedom and face the consequences of their ignorance.
When it comes to maintaining prostate and breast health, you deserve a proactive approach, one that supports wellness from within. Introducing Best Doctors WBM Rex, your natural supplement to support prostate and breast health, boost immune function, and enhance overall wellness. Packed with powerful ingredients like white button mushrooms, noto ginseng, and antioxidants, WBM Rex helps maintain healthy PSA levels, reduces inflammation, and supports cellular health in the prostate and breast. With added energy-boosting Panax noto ginseng and immune-boosting beta-glucans, WBM Rex helps you stay active, healthy, and full of vitality. Clinically backed and made with plant-based ingredients, WBM Rex is your go-to solution for long-term wellness and balance. Gift the joy of health this Christmas with WBM Rex, because the well-being of your loved ones matters. And don't forget, use our special discount code CO2025 at checkout to get 20% off your order, exclusively for our China Observer viewers.